As the exorcisms continued and Annelise's health deteriorated, the priests quickly realized they had a problem. Annalise wasn't allegedly possessed by one entity, she was possessed by six, including Hitler and Lucifer himself. Reverend Ernst Alt and fellow priest Wilhelm Renz, 67, were charged with negligent homicide for failing to provide medical care for the 23-year-old woman as she starved to death on July 1st, 1976. Her parents were also charged. This is part two of TeeJay Felony Deep Dives, the Anneliese Michel Exorcism tapes. If you recall, if you watched part one, Annalise was in the middle of a series of over 60 exorcisms that the Catholic Church had approved for her to partake in because they were convinced that she was under the possession of demons, evil spirits. But in part two, you'll start to see here, they start to realize that they have more than just a typical entity possession on their hands. And things I said at the beginning of part one, things really start to get kind of wild here in the second part. And I think the recordings are in order of occurrence that I've downloaded them because I've tried to keep them in order, but they were broken into 10-minute segments. But they flow in order, like one conversation will connect to the next, and I've tried to keep them in order. And you can kind of see the process kind of deteriorate, and it starts to feel like the priests are losing more and more control. And honestly, from my interpretation, that the entity actually has control of this, whole situation. And there was a big I've noticed looking into the deeper I go into this case, there's a lot of talk about Hitler. Adolf Hitler allegedly is one of the entities, one of the souls inside Annalise. And Annalise, the entity mentions that it's Hitler in the last one. I think if you pay attention to what was happening, it's near the end of the first part one of my deep dive. Um, the entity is playing with them. It's because at one point they pray over it and they say, are you Hitler?" And it says no. It's goofing them. It's trolling them. And they kind of play with it, but the media seem to really grab onto that. Like, "Oh, Hitler, come on." And I think that honestly it was just this is just my interpretation. It was just the entity trolling them, like, but it claims there are six entities, including the entities we've heard so far allegedly are Hitler, Nero, and it also claims that Lucifer himself is part of the horde of entities entombed in Annalise. And we'll go ahead and start the videos here, and I'll do it just like I did part one. I'll pause and talk about things I find important. And it takes off right where part one did. In there, I'm not positive how these recordings, how much time was in between them. Were they doing this day after day? Were they consecutively? But as the process continued, Annalise's health began to deteriorate, and I used this photo that I had used for the part two to show that this is she was obviously starting to show wear and tear from whatever, the ritual process, the just malnutrition. The the parents were also charged with alongside the Catholic priests for wrongful death, and mainly for not getting her health care, for not getting her to a doctor. Um, from all accounts of people that were there and witnessed this, uh, nobody could have made Annalise eat, short of sedating her and maybe doing like a feeding tube, or a forced feed process, which her family didn't seem willing to do. They had already gone down the psychiatric process. They had already tried doctors. That's something to keep in mind. It the picture isn't that their first step was an exorcism. They tried psychiatric care. Annalise showed no reaction to medications, um, and she was very uncontrollable by this state in the process. The priests were even having a hard time controlling her by this point, and I don't think it's just my opinion, and everyone, a therapist or psychiatrist is probably going to look at this differently, but short of committing her and just by sheer domination and force feeding, I don't think anyone could have changed the outcome. But maybe that was, depending on your opinion, the process that her family should have chose. Um, all right, it's all debatable. That's why this case is important. Here we go. When will you come out? They're starting to focus on like this is killing this girl. We got to end this. That starts to become the focus. 20 years time. It said in 20 years time and it laughed. I mentioned in the first one, I'm being very careful not to say Annalise when I'm because I do believe that she was invaded by an outside source, NHI, entity, demon, whatever you want to call it. So I try to be careful to that the entity is speaking. It's not Annalise speaking because by all accounts, Annalise was a lovely human being and would have never said these things. When the explosion takes place. What does that mean when the explosion? When the explosion takes place, that's when I'll leave. You will come out with a noise? Mm-hmm. What will the explode? And then they pray to try to entice an answer. The entity knows they're trying to get info. He doesn't want to, that dog. He doesn't listen to you? He doesn't listen to you? See, so that he doesn't listen to you, that's them trying to figure out the hierarchy. Who is in charge of the horde? Because this is common with multiple personality disorder. Different members of the horde, the group that is implanted, embedded in one's soul, they have a hierarchy. Different entities, identities will be able to take control of the body when other ones have to be invited. There's often a hierarchy involved, and that's him trying to figure it out. Like, well, what? They don't answer to you. Well, who's in charge? Who can we talk to actually get answers here? What? No one listens to the other? Yes. See, that was the enemy saying we're basically it's anarchy. We're all just wild. But later in this recording, you hear Lucifer claims to be part of it, and I imagine that would be the entity in charge, of course. So what do you have to say? Why are you here? There is no obedience here. Do you understand? They were basic. Why are you here? What do you want? There is no humility. That's what the demon's angry about. People are slipping. There is no love either. No, only hatred is here. Do you hate all people? Yes. I will point. If only I could you. It's getting real vile. You will tell the bishop the angels really exist. See, this is important. Would I say that these priests seem to be more interested in using this opportunity than saving Anneliese? And that's a good example. It says you will tell the bishop the angels really exist. It wants to get this priest on tape so the Catholic Church can use it. And they're, for spreading the word of God. Like admit that angels exist. And they want it on tape. From my point of view, and it doesn't want to admit it. Yes, they do. Yes, angels exist. Yes. Yeah. How many does each person have? This is when they start talking about guardian angels. I won't say that. In the name they pray. 20 of them. It said 20 of them. That all people have 20 angels, guardian angels.
Im Namen Jesu und im Namen Mariens befehle ich dir im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes.
So my guardian angel will make you say it. My guardian angel will help me. These priests understand how it works. And guardian angels are real. This stuff is real. These priests they're not talking about imaginary things. This is why these videos were so important to me. It wasn't just the entity. It was how the priest approached it. This isn't imaginary. These guys are talking about real systems, and it's real. His guardian angel will make this entity talk the truth. How many guardian angels does each person have? They want it to admit it. The anger it causes too. Ugh, those growls, man. That's those growls. I hear two voices coming through. I often sometimes I can hear three. There's more than just that's not a normal human making that noise. I don't care what anyone says. The groans and the growls. There's like deep voices coming out. He will order you to say it. Where is Annaliese's guardian angel? Okay, now I kind of understand where they're getting at. They're trying to invoke her angels to fight for her. Where is Annaliese's angels? He's here. Near us? Is he near us? Where is he? Here. How many guardian angels does each person have? It depends, you dirty pig. And now it tells, it spills a little truth.
Der Priester hat mehr Schutzengel.
It's like where detectives will ask um suspects questions and they already know the answer. The priests are doing the same thing. They just want to force the demon to say it. I don't know if it weakens their will.
Auf was kommt es denn an? Ich befehle es dir zu sagen im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes.
Could you imagine being trapped in a house with this thing?
Des Heiligen Geistes. Amen. Magie kommt ja nur von dir. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Dann sage die Wahrheit, Vater.
Uh, I wanted to stop real quick and I forgot to give my warning at the beginning. A lot of people believe in things like the hitchhiker effect, and that when you look into the darkness, like things like these videos in this case, um, that it can invite certain things to happen in your life, and there are a lot of things that people don't understand, dark topics, and it's kind of like if you allow your mind to go there, things can happen. And I just want to give a warning to anyone that like this is a very dark topic, and the things like I've had bad dreams about this shit, and I don't I like if you're not comfortable with like these types of topics, or you are weary of things like the hitchhiker effect and shit, I would be weary, and perhaps maybe it's not the best thing to look into, but yeah, it's a very dark topic, and I've as I'm doing research on this topic, I just it starts to things weird things seem to happen. I was listening to the recordings earlier to kind of get just an idea what was in them, so I knew what I was gonna say and talk about. And I started hearing they call them EVPs or disembodied voices. I started to hear it a little bit coming through on the headphones, and it was when there was no media playing. I just the only thing reverberating back was my voice on OBS, and I've had that happen before, but this time was a little different. Yeah, so like it is a dark topic, and if you're not fascinated and the hitchhiker effect, things like that. I do believe that they might exist. So yeah, fair warning. I forgot to do it at the beginning. Let's go.
Halleluja. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Amen.
Will you say something from Nero? Okay, this is important. They want, they're trying to get it to switch entities. Like, let Nero talk. That's why I mentioned this is similar to multiple personality disorder. Uh, so let's see, Von Nero and the name. They're starting to identify the different entities. He's got nothing to say. Where are the other three? Hidden. Why aren't they coming out? Because they know nothing. They ain't got nothing to say.
Der weiß alles, der weiß auch das hat keine Demos.
Ooh, there's a female in the house. I heard a female talk. I don't know if that's a nun that's like assisting or what. Like a nurse, maybe?
Die ihn hüpft den Himmel so schön gleich.
One must pray more to angels. Why would a demon be screaming that? One must pray more to angels. Is it because we don't really understand what demons are? And we've kind of gotten off track on we've gotten wires crossed. Um, is it because enough people haven't listened to these tapes? Like, why would a demon yell out, "One must pray more" to angels? One must keep the Catholic faith, intact. It just goes against what I ever imagined alien or demons to be about. That's why I'm starting to look at demons differently, as they're basically just a different wing of God's arm. They just go about it differently than angels, but they basically do the same thing to convince people to come to God. Their tactics are just different.
Erhaltet meinen Glauben rein und standhaft. Schön gesagt. Zu den Schutzengeln müssen nur gebetet
They're
werden.
saying,
Das ist mein
say it
Film.
nicely. One must pray to guardian angels. Say it nicely. It's like, no, I'm not saying it nicely. I'm a demon. That's not what we do. But it admitted that was the problem.
und
Oh,
den heiligen
they're
Engeln
doing
bekannt und den
Amber
heiligen
Alerts for a
Schutzengel,
missing kid
muss
in the
mir
neighborhood.
getötet werden. Im Namen des Vaters und des Geistes. Amen. Alle heiligen Engel, die hier sind, rufen wir zu Hilfe, dass
Yes.
sie uns schützen.
One must pray more to guardian angels. Say it loud and clear.
Sagt er mit
They're
Sand.
trying to they're trying to like summon the power of everyone's guardian angels, I think, and get them to help Anneliese escape and buck these entities.
Rufen unsere Schutzengel an.
Seems to be the strategy. Oh, that that roar that came out. There was a deep like man's voice behind it. Ugh,
Wir rufen
that one
unsere
gave me chills.
Schutzengel an. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Amen. Wir rufen unsere Schutzengel an. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Amen. Engel muss sehr gebetet werden. Ich sage es mal ganz deutlich, Ludwig werden. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes befehle ich dir, das ganz deutlich und laut zu tun. Befehle ich dir im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Ganz deutlich sagen. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Amen. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Amen. Das geht wohl. Nein. Im Namen des
They are
Vaters
my enemies. They are my enemies.
und des Heiligen Geistes.
I hate them.
Wir befehlen es dir. Wir befehlen es dir, dass
It's almost like God has like two teams, like the angels and the demons, and he has them fighting each other over us in the middle, but they all work for him, right? They all work for the boss.
du sagst, dass du den Schutzengeln
It's a
Recht geben
program,
sollst. Du sollst sagen, im
algorithm,
Namen des Vaters und des
yin
Sohnes
yin and
und
yang.
des Heiligen Geistes. Amen. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Amen.
To whom? To whom?
Zu wem? Zu wem? Zu den Heiligen.
Yes, to guardian angels. They must pray.
Weil, warum?
Because the power of hell is huge at present. The power of hell is huge. Is this what you said? The power of hell? Yes, and people must beg their guardian angels to help them. Look at that. That was the demon's words. Yes, and people must beg their guardian angels to help them. Because hell is everywhere. It's just explaining the rules.
Die Menschen müssen ihre Schutzengel anflehen, damit sie ihnen beitreten.
Queen of Angels will make. Which of the day are you gonna come out? When are you gonna leave Annalise? I don't have to say it.
Königin der Engel wird dir befehlen, uns zu sagen, an welchem Tag du ausfahren musst. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Amen. Wir können
When
nicht
the
glauben, du musst
explosion
uns
takes
anhalten
place.
deswegen.
When will it
Was ist
explode?
denn?
What's going to explode?
Was ist denn los?
At home. You will come with an
Musst du mit deinem
explosion.
Drache ausfahren? Ja, also nicht. Doch, ne? Sag jetzt die Wahrheit. Nein. Was wird Drachen im Haus?
It hates when they call it
Im Namen
unclean.
Jesu, im Namen Maria befehle ich dir, unreiner Geist, die Wahrheit
Unclean
zu sagen. Im
spirit.
Namen des
I
Vaters,
notice it
des
gets upset
Sohnes
when they
und
do
des
that.
Heiligen
When
Geistes.
they say
Amen.
that.
Im Namen Jesu, der Sohn und unserer Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu, im Namen Maria, sag uns die volle Wahrheit. Wir rufen unsere Schutzengel.
I guess one way you could almost look at it is like a double agent or like a undercover cop, and you would be calling them a criminal, and they're like, I'm not a fucking criminal. Like, you just don't understand what's going on here.
An und bitten die Königin der Engel, dass sie dich zwingt, die
All
Wahrheit
right,
zu
here's the
sagen.
second
Wie viel
segment.
seid ihr? Und wie viel seid
Ich hab
I've
überlebt
thrown away all the
heute.
crosses. Haha. Do you mean at schools? Are you Hitler? This is a little bit about Hitler.
im Namen des Vaters
You mean
und
at the
des Sohnes
schools? Are
und des
you
Heiligen
Hitler?
Geistes. Amen. Du meinst nicht so.
See, that they planted that idea. Like they're the ones who said Hitler. Like I don't know if it had mentioned Hitler before, but they kind of like implanted the idea, and then it's like yes, it just trolling them. That's my opinion of the Hitler thing, and that's what a lot of the media and like people you hear today they use that as a lot of it to clown this case. Like oh it was saying it was Hitler and everything else. It was just trolling these priests. Like that's what I think it was. Like oh you think I'm Hitler now? Okay, I'm Hitler.
Bist du der Hitler,
But it
Ja,
even says
die deine
no. Look,
Kreuze
are
rausgerissen?
you Hitler? Say the truth.
Wie schön, was hat die Kreuze abgestellt auf die Schlachtfelder?
I think it does it here.
Dass du viele Kreuze
Say the
aufgestellt auf den
truth.
Schlachtfeldern. Bist du Hitler, sagt die
No.
Wahrheit. Im Namen Jesu
No.
befehle ich dir.
It goes no. That like oh man. That's why you need deep dives on these things. Like that's the detail that everyone seemed to focus on. That they claimed Hitler was one of the six demons. And right there, if anyone would have just listened, it says no. Like no, I'm not Hitler. I was just fucking with y'all.
Ein Hitler. Warum lügst du? Im Namen Jesu,
Who are
sag
you?
die Wahrheit. Im Namen des dreifaltigen Gottes, sag die Wahrheit. Wer bist du?
Hitler. Now it's saying Hitler again. Lucifer is the father of lies, deceit,
Selig sind, sag die
manipulation,
Wahrheit.
trickery,
Ist kein bei euch.
trolling even. Like
Ist kein bei euch. Unsere Schutzengel werden dich zwingen, alles zu sagen. Auf die Fürbitte der Königin der Engel wirst du alles
with the help
sagen.
of guardian angels, you're gonna say everything.
ich bin kein.
Seid ihr also 4. Hitler? Hitler ist gelogen. Sage
Hitler was
deutlich
lying. Oh, it
im Namen
said
Jesu.
one of the priests caught it. It said they're trying to identify the entities, and one of them said, "And Hitler," and one went, "Hitler was lying." See, like they get it.
Jesu in den Namen Mariens.
It's
Im Namen des
funny that the
Vaters und
media
des
ran
Sohnes
with
und
that
des
shit though,
Heiligen
and nobody
Geistes.
said
Amen.
Ja,
no,
ich
it
bin
wasn't. It's
ein
not
Wer
Hitler.
denn?
Hitler.
Hitler.
Im Namen Jesu und im Namen Mariens
It's just
befehle
trying to
ich dir
fuck with
alles
them
zu
now.
sagen. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes
They
und des
know
Heiligen
that
Geistes.
it was
Amen. Was hat
just
der Hitler
screwing
denn
with
sonst
them,
noch
I think.
getan?
What brought him to you? What brought Hitler
Wer
here?
hat er denn geholt?
Nach seinem Tod.
After his death, he killed himself. Suicide.
Umgebracht.
See, it's just fucking with him.
Selbstmord.
Womit?
With what? With what
Womit hat er
did
sich
he kill
umgebracht?
himself?
Mit
Poison? They're testing it.
erschossen.
This is interesting. They're testing the entity for, eh, it was 76. This was in Germany. I'm sure most people knew how Hitler died. Like, you had to probably be living under a rock to not know the details. But they're still asking, like, well, how? If Hitler's in there, tell us the details of your death.
Verbrannt.
Burnt,
Oh, verbrannt.
which is true.
Verbrannt. Hat er noch gelebt?
That's interesting. That it said burnt. Uh, the the popular story was that Hitler took cyanide with Anna with his right after marrying Ava Braun. with Ava Braun. They married in the bunker. Then he took cyanide and shot himself to make sure, because he was worried about the pills being switched up with sleeping pills, because the Russians were coming, and he was really paranoid about waking up in captivity with the Russians. So he wanted to make sure. He fed the pills to his dog. His dogs died, Blondie, and then he ate the cyanide pills and shot himself to make sure. But his orders to his people were to burn his body immediately. And him and Ava were put in a little pit outside and doused in diesel and burned, because they didn't want the Russians to get their remains. He didn't want anything left. And the guy was completely insane at this point. Uh, so when it says burnt, that wasn't something that would have been real commonly talked about. Most people probably would have said poison or I shot myself. But it says burnt.
ihr das Gift genommen hat.
Was he alive when he took the
Verbrannt, hat er
poison,
die
burned
verbrannt.
himself?
Ja.
And it's yes.
Wir können nicht sagen, dass wir viel
That's
gedruckt haben.
interesting.
Das interessiert uns nicht. Das interessiert uns nicht. Wir müssen
That's
nur
of
wissen,
no
wer das ist.
interest to us. Dude, the other clergy, I don't know the difference. There's two of them, Renz and I forget the other guy's name. I mentioned in the intro. Um, the other one was getting annoyed. He's like, "This is no interest to us. We don't care about Hitler. What are you like? We got to get back on task."
Du kannst ja uns da alles Mögliche vormachen, ne? Du bist ja der
It
größte
understands
Theaterspieler.
he's trying to. It's distracting
Und
them with
deswegen sagst du
bullshit.
uns jetzt im Auftrag unserer Schutzengel, im Auftrag der Königin der Engel, die volle Wahrheit. Befehle ist dir im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes.
Muss noch mehr gebetet werden.
Was muss mehr gebetet werden? Sag's ganz deutlich. Im Auftrag.
Von dem Scheißdreck.
Was
Und von den Mannen.
du meinst,
Ja.
sag's deutlich. Damit der Bischof es wird,
Gebabbel.
damit der Bischof es wird auf den Tonmann. Befehl es dir im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes.
Rosenkranz.
Den Rosenkranz muss mehr gebetet werden. Was muss noch mehr gebetet werden?
I imagine getting
Den
it to admit
Exorzismus.
this stuff does.
Ja.
It's probably a bit strategy to get it to weaken its resolve a little bit.
Redner, befehle es dir im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Amen.
100-mal.
100 times.
Du
It
lügst
always
schon
says
wieder.
that good shit. 20 people, 100 times.
Du lügst schon wieder. Befehle es dir, unreiner Geist zu sagen. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Amen. Wir rufen die Engel zur Hilfe und bitten die Königin der Engel, es dir zu befehlen. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des Heiligen Geistes. Amen.
Guck doch die da.
That's the one in the shithole. The one.
Mama Rosa, nicht?
Ja, ja.
Die weiß das also. Die kann man fragen, ja?
Should I
Die wird
ask
das
her?
sagen.
I'm not sure who they're talking
Soll
to.
ich Sie fragen?
Oh, that's that
Nein.
woman.
Also doch.
Ich werde Mama Rosa fragen.
Dein Maul.
Im Namen
I'm not
Jesu,
sure
im
who the
Namen
female is in the room.
die
It
Fürsprache.
seems to. It mentioned in part one, it took a few jabs and it would say red nose. And I believe that's the woman in the room. And I don't know if it's a nurse or a nun. I didn't see him in the court newspaper clippings and stuff. But there is another woman in the room. And I'm not sure who it is.
Gottesmutter von seinem Herrn.
It doesn't like her, though.
Geduld haben, ja. Gut, wir werden weitermachen, ne?
Und du musst noch was sagen.
Maybe we
Sonst
lack
stimmt
something.
irgendwas nicht.
Information, knowledge.
Gehört zur
Half
Halbzeit.
of her belongs to me. Ooh, that's creepy. You lie.
Ja.
Ist ein Angeber.
You lie through your teeth.
Mensch, liebst du gedrückt?
This is my
Ja, mein
trade.
Gott.
Oh my god, dude. That's creepy. This is my trade. It said half of her belongs to me, and they said, no, you're lying. You don't own Anneliese, and said, "This is my trade. It's what I do. No one
Jeder, der
living
lebt,
belongs to
gehört
you."
dir nicht.
Indeed. Did you hear that? Indeed. No one living belongs to you. That means as long as you're alive and as long as your soul is and heart is still beating, you have a choice. You can always turn around and turn back towards the light.
Und deswegen kann er
No
sich
one
noch
can
bis zur
choose till
letzten,
the
bis zur
end.
letzten Sekunde entscheiden.
Yeah. Everyone has a choice till the very end. And the Mother of God will save all.
Die Gottesmutter wird all
But
dir,
it'll be hard.
aber all dir retten,
It
die
said, but
Gottes
it'll be
Leben
hard.
leben. Ja. Und deswegen kann man
That is
niemand
why we cannot judge
verurteilen.
anyone prematurely. Correct? And they went, yes. Because up until your final second, you can still turn it around and ask for forgiveness. I mean, that's what the Christian faith is supposed to be all about. People forget that, but then it goes on rants about the rosary more.
Dann müssen wir also noch mehr den Rosenkranz beten, vor allem für die verstockten Sünder. Stimmt's? Sag die Wahrheit. Ich befehle es dir im Namen des Vaters.
They're doing the Lord's Prayer. No.
Sage die volle Wahrheit. Im
He
Namen
will
des
be mine
Vaters,
soon.
des Sohnes.
It's claiming that it's targeting somebody else. It's saying he will be mine soon. I need to know who it's talking about.
Und des Heiligen Geistes. Halleluja.
I'd be scared if that thing was telling me I would belong to it soon. You were saying something entirely different last time. What fruits? What side B of the cassette? So this was recorded on a tape cassette tape. That's interesting. On a little probably handheld one. It's flipping over. I'd like to know where the originals are. They got to be at the Vatican, right? I would imagine. Well, no, they were probably in the court. The court probably has them because these people are convicted. The one from beneath is bumbling. This is interesting too. The one from beneath is bumbling. And it laughs. They lock onto that. Like, wait, what? Yes, now the beneath is bumbling. It has to be Lucifer then. The priest went, Lucifer? You like the one beneath, Lucifer. Yes, dirty pig. The demon called Lucifer a dirty pig now. Lucifer, dirty pig. He torments us enough. That pig of swine. So Lucifer, even the demons hate Lucifer according to this entity. He torments us enough, that pig of swine. Lucifer torments you? They're shocked by that. Like, dude, that like one of them it almost melted. Wait. Lucifer torments you guys too? What the fuck? Yes. Now he must tell that cursed pig. He must tell it all. It almost makes you this demon has its own belief system, its own thoughts, its own jealousies. Um yeah. So let him tell it. He should tell the truth. It claims Lucifer's there, and it could come up and talk if it was.
Sag alles, was du zu sagen hast.
No, I'd sooner finish you all than let Lucifer take the mic. Are you
Im Namen des
Lucifer? Tell me the
dreifaltigen
truth.
Gottes, bitte. Im Namen des dreifaltigen Gottes. Im Namen der allerseligsten Jungfrau Maria. Sag mir die Wahrheit.
Yes. That's part scared me. 'Cause you go back to where they pressured it about Hitler and they were like, "Are you Hitler? Are you Hitler?" And they prayed and it was like, "No." But they asked, this time it's yes. Yeah.
Bist du Lucifer?
Made me kind of yeah, gave me the chills.
Dann sag alles, was du sagen musst. Im Namen des
And
dreifaltigen
I also thought about I don't know if like I believe this is an authentic demonic possession and I don't know if Lucifer would want entities claiming him if they weren't. It just seems like that would be a no-no. I mean, I could be crazy, but
Gottes und der allerseligsten Jungfrau Maria. Alles sagen, was du sagen musst.
take this stinking water. They're getting her. They're using holy water. That is not stinking water. That's holy water. That's holy water. That's why you're hearing the violent reaction. And in this image, to the left here, the burns and sores and stuff, could have been possibly a violent reaction to holy water. And yeah, yeah, I'd be convinced.
Das ist Weihwasser.
Are you afraid of water, holy water?
Dürftest du das Weihwasser?
No, yuck.
Ja.
How
Ja, die Toten
brilliantly you lie.
haben
The father of lie. See, that's interesting also. The priest called it the father of lie, which is that's Lucifer, that's Satan. He's the father of lies. So they almost like, yeah,
Sag die Wahrheit.
they're not saying you're not really Lucifer. They're calling it by it. Maybe they thought it was the whole time. They had a hunch. Yeah, it's freaking out about the holy water. Holy water has to be back in homes. That's weird it said
Das
that.
Weihwasser muss wieder in die
Oh
Hose
no.
kommen, nicht?
You just said
Hast du
that.
doch
It was
gesagt.
not true.
Was war falsch? Soll ich die Jungfrau befehle dir, die Wahrheit zu
What
sagen?
was not true? And I didn't catch that water, which stinks. Must return to houses. This is so bizarre. It's forced to say things that it doesn't want to. That water, that stinks, must return to houses all over the world.
Also, ja, das will ich die Jungfrau sagt, ist uns klar, das Weihwasser muss
The
wieder
holy
in die
water
Häuser
must return
hinein.
to houses.
Das
I believe
signalisiert
it's a strategy that the Catholic Church uses. They believe it weakens the will of the entity. If you force it into a corner and it has to admit these truths about relics and stuff, I think it's because they seem to use that a lot to try to force it to say these things.
was für ein Ding.
They think it weakens
Im
the
Namen aller
grip.
seligsten Jungfrau sagen wir, meinst du das
You mean the
Kreuz?
cross? They're messing
Das
with
Kreuz.
a relic now.
Meinst du das Kreuz? Meinst du das Kreuz? Sag die Wahrheit im Namen der allerseligsten Jungfrau. Im Namen der allerseligsten Jungfrau
What have
befehle
to
ich
return
dir,
to
sag
houses? They're
die
trying to get
Wahrheit.
it to say it again.
Was willst du sagen? Das muss wieder in die Reise hinein. Das Kreuz. Das Kreuz, denn der Ober ist ja nicht da. Ja, meinst du, ja?
So you mean the cross? Yes. Because holy water scares you, because the cross scares you, doesn't it?
Weil ihr das Kreuz fürchtet. Weil ihr das Weihwasser fürchtet. Ja,
Yes.
skandalöse
It doesn't like to admit things that are effective against it and its friends. That's like admitting, weaknesses, like telling your enemies, like, what things work and what things don't work against you and your allies.
prodittore dannati. Sede Dio. Judas
Judas.
Iscariote prodittore.
This one you have brought? Yes.
Brauchst du so einen
You need
Freund?
such a friend? Yes.
Und was
And
hast du
what
jetzt
is the
davon?
benefit to you? He is at my service. He is the damned? This is interesting.
Dannati.
Yes, he is damned. Ooh, when it said damned, that gave me chills.
Liebe Schuld daran. Und er ist selber schuld, er ist verzweifelt.
Is he in despair? Yes. He could rescue himself.
Ja, wie hätte er sich
He
retten
could
können?
save himself. He was so stupid he didn't follow that one. I he said Judas, so it sounds like they're talking about Judas, which is fascinating. Saying that he was damned, but he could rescue himself if he wanted.
Den Heiland.
Savior. He didn't follow him.
Jesus von Nazareth.
Jesus from Nazareth. The story of Judas.
Den sagt
Google
seinen
it, I
Namen.
guess.
Den Jesus von Nazareth. Den Jesus von Nazareth, die
If
sende
he
ich
would
voraus.
follow him, he wouldn't be damned.
Wenn
Would
er
he
von ihm
forgive him?
abgefolgt hätte, wäre er nicht verdammt worden. Hätte der ihm noch verziehen.
Yes.
Auf dem Kreuze noch.
Also from the cross. Yes, he always forgives. Jeez, that one, yeah, that line right there. He always forgives. Like, it's like angry. Like, yes, he always forgives. He's such a self-righteous bastard. He's always forgiving everyone. Like, I don't know, man. That's one of the lines that really stuck with me too.
Jesus not, der
Who always
verzeiht immer.
forgives?
Wenn, 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 sagt das deutlich. Im Namen Jesus sagt die Wahrheit. Er verzeiht immer, wenn der Sünder, der Tröster der Betrübten, sagt, das hat sie gesagt,
What was she saying?
dass
That he
er verzeiht.
forgives.
Dass,
That he could improve
dass
himself.
er sich bessern soll.
That he had been
Ja,
saying it
natürlich
to Judas. Dude, it's so weird. It's it's talking like there's an ongoing story and still with Judas. Like the Judas is still being his soul is still being grappled and wrestled over. Like almost like these would be like unknown chapters of the Bible or something.
Günther hat dem Judas gesagt,
And the priests that they're interested.
wenn er zurückkönnte.
Look how fascinated they are with this. They're losing themselves in this Judas rabbit hole. There is no return for us. Look, in all ages. Look at that one. There is no return for us. Screaming, no, in all ages. Saying that's another like angry lie. There's no hope. Everyone's fucked. If you're damned, you're damned forever. But that's not true apparently. They don't want us to it doesn't want us to know that though.
I'm sure
It mentioned they cornered in part 1 and it mentioned that it hated that nun because she was able to save and pull people out of hell. So there it is possible. The story's still being written.
das ist das Furchtbare.
If there was any
Wenn es
way.
ein Zurücktreten,
They're really dialing in on that too.
wenn es einen
Trying
Weg
to find
gäbe,
out, is there a way to get it
Gibt's
to be
nicht.
saved from damnation?
Von uns kommt
There
niemand
is not.
zurück.
Return no one else.
hat er noch etwas zu sagen. Was du allerhand zu sagen.
Nee.
Du
No.
hast noch eine Menge zu sagen. Du hast eine Menge zu
You have
sagen, so
so much
unendlich
to
viele
tell.
andere.
Dude, that's really interesting too. You have so much to tell. You have so much to tell to us and to many others. Many should be saved through this. Many should be released from your fetters. They're almost like patronizing it. Like trying to like people need to hear what you have to say.
Und es soll noch manchmal geredet werden dadurch.
Keep talking. We need to know
Und manche werden
how it
Chaos wissen
works.
werden.
Ja.
Yes, because she here that dude, starts attacking that girl. Yes, because she that fat that like it it gets it. I think what they're trying to do, and it immediately starts tagging the female in the room. I think that's what it's doing here.
Tito.
Sie doch, wer da?
She,
Adi.
Ja, natürlich die
the
Jungen.
Holy Virgin.
Ja, ja,
Oh,
ja.
okay. It's talking about
Vitius Morales. Warum bleibst du noch länger hier?
Mother Mary.
Weiß ich noch.
Because I have to say something. They asked, "Why are you still here? What do you want?" And it said, "Because I have to say something."
Sag mir die volle Wahrheit im Namen des
Weil
Dreifaltigen.
ich noch was sagen muss.
So tell the truth. Say
Dann
it.
sag die Wahrheit.
In order from her
Und
who can
dir,
force
die
me,
kann mich zwingen, Tito.
Ja, natürlich die Jungfrau.
the
Ne?
Holy Virgin.
Ja.
Ja. So sollte sich noch
They're saying it admitted that the one that can force me to leave is the whole, Mother Mary, the Holy Virgin.
zwingen, die Wahrheit zu sagen.
Der tritt mich die. Wow.
A lot of cultures, they worship the Holy Virgin. They seem to really focus on that. I know the Latino communities really focus on the Holy Virgin, the power of it.
Ich zwinge dich zu sagen, was sie zu sagen, was sie uns sagen möchte.
Die Drecksau, die verfluchte sie.
Ja,
The Holy
natürlich die
Virgin should
Jungfrau
force
soll
you
dich
to.
zwingen, das zu sagen, was sie uns
Die hab
sagen.
die hab ich ja noch durcheinander. Die Drecksau, die verfluchte.
Ja, natürlich die Jungfrau möge befehlen zu sagen, was du zu
That I talked about this a little bit in the first part. The like constant groan in between conversations, like it fluctuates up and down. It's what they stole and used for the Exorcist film, and I mentioned how it almost sounds like static from a radio, like where there's a signal coming through, and that's just holding the signal. And it comes out and it sounds horrifying and it messes with your head. But I wonder if it's another example of us just not understanding what we're seeing or hearing.
was sie uns sagen möchte.
It's using her as a medium, as a tool, and this is an entity from another dimension speaking through her. And you wonder if that's distortion is what kind of the would be the word. It destroys the person though. that is used as the vessel. It seems to, anyways.
Saudierne, die muss mich dann noch zu dem Ort. Mit dem ganzen Scheiß.
Sicher. Ja, gut. Im Namen aller seligen Jungfrau sagt die Wahrheit.
Ja!
Das werden wir tun.
Und damit die das auch noch Bescheid wissen.
But he won't
Ja.
do it.
Oh, die
No.
Auswärtsfahrer.
That one from Wurzburg,
Nee.
Allerseligste Jungfrau wird ihm helfen.
talking about the
Allerseligste Jungfrau wird ihm helfen.
that's Renz, I think, the one of the ones on trial.
Und die Priester müssen
And a priest should be recognizable, not only with
Ordentlich.
not only with writing signs. So now they're like trying to play along, like, well, tell us what your message is. That way you can leave, and the Anneliese can come back. Everyone should know that I can't even tell how much it makes me unbelievably happy. Oh, okay, this is. He comes always in a pretty suit. It makes me unbelievably happy. Dirty pig. I can't. So what they're talking about, what the entity is talking about, is priests kind of playing half in, half out. Like not you're not real men of God. You're phony. You're fashion and your vanity, things like that. That seems to enrage the entity. But here it is reacting how you would imagine a demon would. It makes me happy to see that you're slipping from your true calling and your true purpose, which is being a priest, not looking snazzy in your suit. That's vanity.
Oh, das freut mich unheimlich. Die Drecksau. Das kann ich Ihnen gar nicht sagen. Nein, ich muss jetzt
Warum freut es dich denn so?
Why are you happy? I won't tell. I command you to tell everything.
Befehle ich dir, sag alles, was sie uns sagen will.
Why they are running with their pood. It said pood a few times, and
Wenn die nämlich mit ihrem Scheiß Zeug rumrennen würde, dann nix.
it's just vile. It just says
Im Namen aller seligen
vile,
Jungfrau sagt die
smutty
volle
things,
Wahrheit.
especially for that time and for a
Im
young
Namen der
girl to be saying
allerseligsten Jungfrau Maria sagt die volle
in
Wahrheit.
Germany.
Sag alles, was sie
I wrote this
Dann haben wir
because
das noch
we
gemacht über die
to this pig nothing
Weil mir das ist so.
because we
Weil wir
the red nose has already said you everything. This shitty ass, this damn shitty cattle. The red nose. I believe it's a relative that's just kind of helping, but it seems to hate her.
Also da sind schon gesagt, die Scheiße, das Arschloch, das Verfluchte. Die Scheiße.
Ooh.
im Namen der allerseligsten Jungfrau
I will crush her. The red nose, this damn. She tells everything. She tells everything. So it must be like kind of a nurse or a family that's watching over her, and it's from that man. Could you imagine living with that? Like even it doesn't matter whether you think this was a case of mental health or demonic possession. Could you just imagine this being one of your sister or your it, I couldn't I couldn't come up with a worse situation to have a family member in. You would start to hate them. Like I don't, you would probably just leave and like move out and be like, I'm out of here. Then you would worry about your family that was still with them. Yeah, it would take the whole family prisoner. And that appears to be what happened in this situation. I can't believe they charged the parents. I'm the priest. Yeah, if you want to debate it in court, that's what court's for. But I was surprised that they charged the parents.
Im Namen der allerhöchsten Jungfrau Maria, sagt die volle Wahrheit, alles, was uns die allerhöchste Jungfrau zu sagen hat. Alles, was sie
Yes, when they were running in their shitty, they don't believe. They're so stupid.
uns sagen will.
Ja, wenn die einen Scheißdreck umrennen würde, dann. Dann.
All right, y'all. That's the end of the recording for part 2. Um, I got 3 more segments that I'm gonna be clipping together, and we'll do part 3, and that'll be the end of the Anneliese Michel Exorcism tapes deep dive. It's just a story I've never seen anywhere else. I thought it was important to talk about, and I feel like it got overlooked by a lot of communities that are looking for answers. And a lot of the answers might be right here. Um, there's a lot of people involved in NHI and UFOs nowadays and non-human intelligence. And like I said in part 1, this is the only thing I've ever found that seems somewhat convincing to be a conversation with the NHI. And there's a lot of talk about like aliens and demons, and you're most likely just splitting definitions. Like you're just slicing hairs here. And yeah, I was hoping people would be a little bit more fascinated with this case, but a lot of it is, different things. But all right, I'll appreciate everyone checking out my content. I'm gonna be chopping together 3, and I'll probably release it tomorrow, maybe the next day. We'll see. But the deep dive series is gonna be a thing I'm gonna continue to do. My next one that I want to work on is I'm gonna do a deep dives on the band Mayhem, uh, Norwegian black metal band. So it'll probably tend to be darker topics. That's kind of where my niche is, anyways. So, like always, I really appreciate everyone checking out my content. If anyone wants support financially and help me continue in my content making career, it's buymeacoffee.com/TeeJay Felony, and you can support anonymously. Just leave your name blank. I appreciate everyone checking it out. I'll see you all next time. Holler at me over on Twitter if you want to say what's up. It's at Felony Talk on X. My DMs are pretty much open to anyone besides, I'm trying to leaving a certain cyber community, but my DMs are pretty much open to anyone who wants to discuss things like this and real topics. So yeah, hit me up on X, and I will see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.